Hey, this is Hans with Dakota Angler and Outfitter. Today we're going to tie a CDC emerging nymph. Got a Daiichi 1560 hook in the vise. Start my thread and wrap to the back of the hook. You could tie this fly on a curved shank hook like a Daiichi 1130 or a Tiemco 2487 if you'd like. I'm going to tie in a tail with some Coq de Leon. Wrap up the hook shank, trim off the excess. This fly has worked really well for me the last couple late summers when the PMDs and also the pale evening duns have been hatching. Now I'm going to add some silver wire. I'm going to take one of the larger CDC feathers, the Petagon European style, and I'm going to capture that back on the feather and then pull down. So I'm capturing just the very end of the feather and wrap forward about 2/3 of the way to the front. Give it a small twist. You don't have to twist that so tight that you can see segments, but you can if you'd like. Jumping around a little bit on me there. Don't worry if some of the fibers start to stick out. That doesn't seem to hurt the fly. I get about 2/3 of the way to the front. Tie that feather off. For the time being, we can trim it, keep it around, keep it handy. Now I'll take and counter wrap that CDC feather with the silver wire to give it some ribbing, but also to prevent it from coming unwound. Tie off the wire. Got a few spare fibers that for now we'll trim off. Next I'll take a piece of black foam, and it's just a piece of 2mm foam that I've cut a really thin strip off the end. So this is the flat face here. What I've done is that's the 2mm side there, the width, and I'll tie that down here for the wing case. Now I'll take that CDC feather, the butt end of that feather, and I'll tear off some of the fibers. Kind of roll them around a little bit to make a dubbing, and I'll dub the thorax with that excess CDC. So here's the feather, the butt end of the feather. I've just kind of stolen by tearing off some of the extra fibers. Sometimes you have to tighten that up again, but just build a thorax. And if there's some little ends that stick out, that's okay. Just get in front of the thorax and build up a little bit of a thread head. Don't need much. Trim off a little excess here. Now pull that foam over the top of the thorax. Tie it down. And I'll trim off, but leave just a tiny, for whatever reason on this fly, leave just a little tiny head there. Do a 3-turn whip finish. trim the excess thread. You'll see now that there's some fiber sticking out on each end of the thorax, or each side of the thorax. You can go ahead and just tease out some of those CDC fibers for some legs, and trim those to length. And that's pretty much the finished nymph. Not maybe a lot to look at, but it's sure been a productive pattern for me the last couple summers when the late summer yellow mayflies that we get here in the Black Hills have started hatching. You could obviously vary this color. This is kind of a creamy yellow, but you could do it in a dark olive or a black or whatever color you have CDC in that you want to use to match the mayflies on your stream. So we've just finished tying a CDC emerging mayfly nymph. I'm Hans from Dakota Angler and Outfitter. Thanks for watching. You can check out the other videos on our website, flyfishsd.com, and you can also purchase the materials to tie these flies at flyfishsd.com.